Hi, my name is Jess. I was 19 years old when my journey began. So I first met my partner when I was 19, and he was the perfect boyfriend when we first met. A doting boyfriend, contacted me all the time, showed me affection, and then the control started, and it was very, very slow. It started with asking where I was all the time, to timing, how far I would get from point A to B, asking what I was doing, if I was 5 minutes late. Once we were in a car trip away, and the girls were talking about another guy, about him being hot, and I didn't say anything, I just laughed, and he proceeded to get out of the car. When we got to the place, which was about 5 hours from our hometown, and he started walking home, knowing that I would be worried about him. Expected me to say sorry then and there, and I didn't, so he walked and hitchhiked for 2 hours, and we found him along the road, and he got in the car, but then I was on my phone in the car, so the next stop he got out and started walking again, and I got out and followed him, and I was trying to get him to get back in the car so that we could go home, and he turned around and raised his voice at me and put his hands up, and a car actually stopped on the side of the road because they thought he was going to physically assault me. Kept me without my consent when I was pregnant because I wasn't agreeing to what he wanted me to do, or his opinion of what we were talking about, and took my phone off me until I agreed to what he was talking about, and then we went home. We started doing trauma training at my work, and I would sit in training, and they would tell stories and talk about checklists about abuse, and I was ticking every box, and I just sat there. And at the time my daughter was almost 1.5 years old, and they were talking about the effects of abuse on the brain of children and myself, and I didn't want that for her. I didn't want that life for her. I didn't want her to grow up with a dad that abused her mum, so that then she would be in that relationship, because I wouldn't be able to tolerate that. And I just started getting stronger and stronger within myself. I started learning self-care and realising really what I deserved. And then I just was talking to him on the phone, and he just kept going around in circles and arguing back at me, and it was like a light bulb went off in my head, and it was like my inner voice, and it just said, Jess, he's just never going to change. You're wasting your time, he's not going to change. So I ended up hanging up and just texting him and saying I'm done, because I just couldn't do it anymore, and that was how I ended it. Leading up to me leaving, I just kept saying to myself in my head, is this how I want to live for the rest of my life? I'm 21 years old. Do I want to continue like this? Do I want to feel like crap every day? Do I want to walk on eggshells every day? And the answer was no, I didn't. I didn't want to walk on eggshells. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be able to live happy and free and have someone that loved me. Real love, not, abusive love. I think knowledge is power, and I think if you don't know any better, you're not going to do better, so if you don't understand it properly, people say, yeah, I know what domestic violence is, but they don't understand it. It's a complex issue, and they don't get the adequate education in it enough to know that, or to even be able to read the signs and say, this is domestic violence.